Yeah, you can already see it's going to be a controversial one. But luckily I'm not talking about a trans person, so automatically I don't get pegged as, you know, a transphobic person. Plus I've realized, you know what, if I do these type of videos, the video is the evidence anyway. So, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to talk about these topics because I never, whatever, who cares? Anyway, so right, Jimmy Fallon. I'll tell you what, I'm so bored and so sick of people trying to cancel someone every 2 fucking seconds. Like, how has Twitter got worse? I mean, I always say it's gonna get worse and worse and worse, but legit, it's got so bad so quickly. I remember 4 or 5 years ago thinking, God, I just can't click on Twitter moments anymore. It is the worst thing ever made by a human. But then you also see how many people are the ones who are tweeting about all this shit. There's a reason why this stuff's trending. Anyway. I want to talk about Jimmy Fallon stuff, but as a whole, can we just stop trying to cancel someone every 2 fucking seconds? Like, it's just getting ridiculous now. I think the problem is, we're trying to cancel someone over, you know, something that they've said or done in the past, or a tweet or something. One, a lot of time, it's something that isn't like, it's not that they've done something crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's not that bad. I think, okay. I'll get a lot of flack for this as well, but the whole thing with Liam Neeson, okay, yeah, his career has not recovered since. But he didn't kill anybody. He said something that was kind of fucked up. And it is fucked up what he said. You know, I want to go and kill someone who's black. It's fucked up. But it was a long time ago. Do you know what I mean? This is the problem. Why can't anybody make mistakes when they're younger anymore? No one's allowed to make any sort of slip up or they're gonna get cancelled. It's just fucking ridiculous. And the problem is people are, you know, having a go at these celebrities and people who have said this stuff. Surely they've made mistakes and said fucked up things. I bet you half the people who go after people who say, like, you know, the N-word, for example, or something. They're probably people who say it, like, in the privacy of their home. Or say this kind of shit in the privacy of their home. Like, fuck you. Are you kidding me? Like, everybody is a piece of shit. Why can nobody get a pass if they have some sort of notoriety? And it's kind of like this with Jimmy Fallon. It was just 2000, right? 20 years ago. Now, blackface was still a bad thing back then. I would imagine so, and I was a child, so I can't imagine, I'm not sure how bad it was, but the fact that Tropic Thunder came out, and I remember at the time it not really being a massive deal, it was a little bit of a deal, but not like, this is fucking wrong. Plus, around that time, I had White Chicks that came out. You know, no one's cancelling the fucking, whatever they're called, the brothers, because, oh, it's white people, so who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter, right? You know, same with James Bond. You know, no one's cancelling Sean Connery for his fucking, when he's pretends to be a Japanese person. I think it was set in Japan, I forget now. No one's cancelling him all of a sudden, saying, oh, it's but then they'll say, oh, it's because it was the 60s, it was different. Yeah, well, it's probably different in the fucking 2000s. Fuck, I know it was different when I was a teen growing up in the early 2000s, late 2000s, even the late 2000s. I've said jokes and done jokes on shows like Sanity Not Included, where I've done rape jokes, I guess, like, not racist, but like, you know, implying it in a way. I've done loads of edgy shit, right? But I wouldn't do that now, because times have changed. I've also grown up, and I'm different, and I know not to fucking do that anymore. And it's the same shit with this. You think Jimmy Fallon's gonna go on and do a sketch now as blackface? No, because times have changed. And we know now, fucking don't do that shit. It's bad. Backlash, all this stuff. I'm just saying, man. Like, you gotta give people a fucking break. You can't just jump on someone because they've done a mistake in their past like this. It's fucking ridiculous. And I also just hate the doubles, like I said, with the White Chicks thing. Okay, yeah, you know, it's not so bad because it's just white people, but at the same time, imagine being a Zoomer growing up right now, or a child growing up, and then everyone's having a go at saying, oh, this is wrong, blackface. If I was a child, I'd be like, but then why could this happen? Why is the whiteface thing? Like, from a child's point of view, from a caveman perspective, if we're all the fucking same, then surely that's just as bad. Cancel the brothers or whatever. Well, don't actually do that, because I don't want them to do that. I think that fucking movie's hilarious. Do you know what I mean? It's a funny film. So is Tropic Thunder. Robert Downey Jr. in that is fucking hilarious. It's a comedy. Just leave it alone. What is wrong with you people, man? Like, just, I understand it's lockdown. I understand a lot of you probably don't have a fucking, let's be honest, you clearly don't have a life if you care that much to go on Twitter and try and cancel someone your whole, like, every 2 goddamn days. Do you know what I mean? Do something. Get a hobby. I don't know, be positive, do something productive with your life. Why have you got to cancel someone for a mistake or something they did fucking 20 years ago? It's absolutely ridiculous, and I can't believe we're at this point. And it's gonna keep getting worse. No matter, like, really, my video right now is pointless. I'm not gonna change anybody's mind, and the people who follow me probably know how I am, how I talk about my opinions, how I say things. So a lot of you are probably gonna be on my side anyway. I don't think this video is gonna change anybody's perspective. And I'm a nobody anyway, so no one's gonna care. And the thing is, even if you do voice an opinion, doesn't fucking matter, because you get labeled as, you know, people probably put in the comments, oh, Dexter's racist or something. Like, that's just how it is now. You talk about a controversial topic and someone just says, oh, this, and this. It's just a load of bollocks. Everyone's just always trying to cancel someone all the fucking time. It's like, I mean, even this Keemstar versus H3 stuff going on right now. I mean, like, H3's trying to cancel Keemstar. It's been cancelled like 4 times apparently, and he still bounces back. So learn your lesson. It's obviously just for publicity at this point. But at the same time, though, like with that, for example, why can't Keemstar just admit, yeah, I'm a pretty shitty person? There's nothing wrong with that. Like, nobody's perfect, and you have people who are twats. That's how we know that people are twats. It's like Scarface, you know. You need people like me. I'm the bad guy. He's fucking right. You need someone like that. You need a Keemstar there to know where the line is, to know what being shitty is. But I'm sure he's also done some good stuff. You know, he's done fucking charities. He probably looks after his friends. Like, you know, I don't like him personally. I think he's a snake. But at the same time, like, I'm sure if you know it, I'm sure he's done some good in his life. You can't just say, oh, he's a completely disgusting person, because I'm sure he isn't. Maybe like 50% of him is the shit that he does for his job and that. Now, Ethan, for example, he's done some really weird shit. And I'm sure he's done some really horrible, snaky pieces of shit things too. But he's also done some good. Why the fuck has it got to be just black and white all the time? You make one mistake, oh, you're the devil. You're the devil, you're cancelled. You know, you squeaky clean. Like, nobody is squeaky goddamn clean. Nobody. And I think this is the problem. People need to just realize that and just be like, just give people a bit of a pass on stuff, you know? 20 years ago this was. Why the fuck are you bringing it up now? He didn't rape someone. Didn't fucking ruin someone's life and leave them traumatic. Well, I guess that's debatable. Maybe someone saw that and got traumatized. I don't know. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, is there really? There never is. There's just opinions and conflicting opinions. And the problem is, people like me who are passionate and are against, you know, I want freedom of speech. I want to say, like, no, my belief is everybody's fucking shit. Everybody's bad. Everybody's got bad stuff. Nobody's squeaky clean. Nobody's perfect. There are people who I know in the past who come across like the most genuine, lovely person in the world, but I can see through them and they're fucking snakes. But no one's going to see that, because, you know, it's just, that's how it's got to be on Twitter and social media. Everyone's got to be this weird saint that's nothing going on. It's just a load of bollocks, and it's really, really getting to me now as I'm getting older. So I just think it's worse because people are going to be growing up in this generation. This is all they're going to know. Like, if you fuck up, you can't learn from your mistake. You can't grow as a person. You just have to grow by yourself without having any mistakes. You know, you become a better person by making mistakes. You realize errors when you've made a mistake. I'm sure Jimmy Fallon's like, oh shit, that was probably a bad idea. But you can't fucking change that, and it was 20 years ago. I just feel like, you know, it's a comedy skit, it's a skit as well. It's gotta fucking pipe down. And the thing is, like, let's say he was dressed up as a Chinese man. Or let's say a black comedian was dressed as a white comedian 20 years ago. No one's gonna give a shit. So there's also that double standard. But also, me being a white person, I'm not allowed to say that. Because I'm not allowed an opinion. Because I'm a cis white male. Hence my opinion does not matter. Because I don't know the struggles and this, and this. I don't know. Now, I know racism's pretty bad in the States. It is. I've lived there. And even I can just see it. There is actually a bit of a culture divide. I can just see it walking around when I'm walking around LA and shit in California. Like, even just that. Maybe that's you know, whatever statement, controversial statement. But compared to England, at least, I feel like there's not really that barrier. Yeah, you get some fucking country bumpkin goons who probably say some stuff every now and then. But I mean, that's because they're basically like kind of rednecky in a way. I don't know, man. I just feel like this is maybe a problem in the States, at least. But I don't think around the world it's not as bad, at least. I mean, fucking hell, I just don't see it. Like with this whole Karen stuff as well. Notice how they're always American. This whole Karen Brenda whatever. It's funny, but it's like, same time, they're all fucking American white women who are just, it's Americans. That's a whole nother topic, right? I'm going off now. I'm going off on a tangent. Obviously, no offense to America. I love America. I love Americans, but there is like a portion of you that does seem to like, you know, fuck things up at the moment in terms of, you know, public image and stuff. I get so irritated. It's just kind of ruining freedom of speech. It's ruining the craft. It's ruining comedy. It's ruining people's opinions, people's ability to grow. Like, people need to make mistakes and say things so people can say, yeah, you can't say that, and it cancels someone instantly. I remember when blackface was I even know it was a thing until I was around 21, 22. That's how much I did not know it was a thing. And I was also in America. So what does that fucking tell you? You know, there was a video that I was in. Somebody in it did the blackface, not gonna say when or who or anything. The video got taken down, and I was like, why? What the fuck happened? And they're like, oh yeah, we did, apparently this is like really bad. I didn't know! Because why the fuck would I know? Because I've treated everybody the same and equally. There's none of this bullshit. I look at white chicks and think it's fucking funny. Look at, you know, Tropic Thunder, think it's funny. What does it matter? Why is this all of a sudden just... I don't know. My point is, it isn't like, for example, this stuff is the law and this is how it is. It's people in society who make these rules on how we view things. You know, people who often say, oh, it's because of this and this about their race. They're usually the ones who are fucking racist, you know what I mean? Like, there are so many times I look at a tweet and I'm like, what's the problem here? Like, oh, it's because there's a, you know, Ellen DeGeneres, for example, is on the back of a black person. It's like, what? She tweeted that out because he's the fastest man in the fucking world and she wants a ride. I mean, the fact that you're even making that comparison, saying that it's because he's on a black person, is proof that you're the one who has that weird racist mentality. That's kind of, whatever, I'm done with this topic. Anyway, leave a comment down below, I guess, what you think. Yeah, I just really hope anybody watching this, just don't lose your freedom of speech, and don't let this fucking vocal minority dictate everything. You know, just stay true to yourself and just stop letting these twats just decide what you can and can't say, because it's just a load of bollocks. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go now. Have a nice day.